Hello YouTube, hello InstaFam, hello to all my wonderful star seeds and light workers. Welcome to Child Talk. This is a series that I feel the universe has been prompting me to do for quite a while. And finally it's like, look, are you gonna just hold on to this knowledge or what? Are you gonna share what's on your heart for the children, for the next wave of souls that's coming in? These souls and children in general are master manifestors. And so throughout this series, I want to talk about what we can do to help them be the manifestors that they are. And first, I want to talk about some of the things we do that actually hinders them from being the master manifestors that they are. So how I would like to do this is that if I'm saying something and I brush past it, because I want to say first, first let me say this. I'm not a parent in this life, okay? So again, on a soul level, I feel like a guardian and a friend to many souls throughout this world, okay? I believe I've made a connection to many, many, many people. You might look at this flesh suit and be like, I don't know this guy. But if we saw each other's souls, you'd probably be like, hey man, what's up? How you doing? Long time no see, you know? Remember when we were horseback riding in a whole different world and we were just riding in, you know, into the sunset? You know, right now, we are not consciously aware of all our other lives. If you're new to this channel, I do talk about my lucid dreaming experiences and my astral travels on this channel as well. So it's not only going to be this, but this is a series that I'm going to do. And I'm really excited to do it because I absolutely love the children, yo. I love the children. And the children that are incarnating at this particular period in our timeline are very powerful souls. So therefore, if you have a child and you identify yourself as a starseed or a light worker, or even if you don't identify yourself as that, because I don't want to get caught up in labels, okay? If you have a loving heart and you want to see the world become a better place, and you would give your all for someone and you would expect to see that same kind of love given to you, chances are you have the type of heart that we are calling the hearts of star seeds and light workers. You have that type of soul, okay? So therefore, I'm talking to you as well, specifically to these types of people, because as the frequency of the earth rises, we're going to be able to give birth to very high vibrational beings, okay? And they are counting on us to know what to do to set them on their path so that they don't have to be like me, all the way grown up, still doing shadow work and still clearing traumas that we received through our childhood. Let's be honest. How many traumas are we still trying to clear? Okay, that came from a particular parenting style, from the Matrix type program. What a shame to give birth to a God and then teach them how to be normal, and then teach them how only to operate in the Matrix mindset, and shut down all their powers, all their magical, mystical, navigational skills. We don't need that. The reason why we don't need that is because this world needs to keep moving with as much momentum as possible to ensure the golden age is reached. And there are some entities that will not even incarnate until the golden age. They don't even touch down in this world while certain low vibrational things are happening on such a wide scale. They won't even come here during that time period, okay? So in order to even get to that next step and that next step and that next step, okay, we have to show the universe that we have actually been listening and learning these lessons, and that we're able to put them into motion. As parents, now, I do not have any children of my own. I have helped raise 2 children, and I have a goddaughter that I helped raise from 1 year old all the way to 9 years old now, okay? And as guardians, we are always trying to do our best for children. So if our children. So if I say something and it resonates with you, and then you feel like, oh man, I already taught my child the wrong way. No. Do not think that way. Please do not think that way. There is no wrong and right how we're thinking it. There's 100% chance that your child incarnated through you so that it could be told what we understand now to be false truths, and matrix-minded programs. They incarnated through you because they knew that you would teach them that, and then they knew eventually you would wake up and then teach them the flip side and how the universe works and how to use their powers, and then they can see both sides of the coin while they're still young and they still have their whole life ahead of them. Okay? And that's going to be important because there's going to be lots of people who are still indoctrinated by the matrix that need to understand how to get out of it and still tap into their abilities. Okay, so they incarnated through you for a reason. So don't be hard on yourself, guys. So if I say something and that comes up, just breathe in, breathe out. I was asleep during the majority of the time I was raising my goddaughter. And I taught her a lot of things that I now see as wrong. Like, I know I just said no wrong or right, but it was, let me say it this way. The things that we think are normal, we only think they're normal because we were in the dark age. And when you're walking around in the dark and you're navigating in the dark, of course you can fumble your way, you know, and feel some things and see the outline of some things. But until the lights come on, you will not see everything in detail. So as we're coming into the golden age, it's like a light is clicking in our head, and we're starting to evolve on a conscious level, and we're starting to think more logically, because we're starting to realize we are gods and goddesses. The word God comes from the word logos. Logos means logic. So now we're thinking logically. We were not thinking logically. We were not thinking as gods. We were actually thinking as slaves, as computers. Okay? Now that we're thinking more logically, I had to sit down and tell my goddaughter, well, I apologize. I'm so sorry. I thought that I was telling you the truth and teaching you the truth, but I was wrong, and I no longer resonate with those things that I was teaching you before. Now I have come to a better understanding, and I believe with this understanding, we can actually help the world become a better place if we put it into practice and truly embody it. Okay? And I told her that, and you know what she said to me? She's looked at me and smiled. It's okay, Godfather. It's okay, Godfather. She's trying to comfort me. She's like, I know you wouldn't tell me a lie on purpose. You know, it was no big deal. Children will understand. They will understand. Okay, now, with all of that said, I want to give you a really quick overview. Because like I said, this is going to be a series. And I do not want to feel like I'm talking to you. I want to feel like we are having a conversation together. So if I skim over something, or you want me to, or you have a question, ask me in the comments and I will talk about it in the very next video. This is for the children, guys. This is important. So I will put all the effort in that is needed. If I have to make 100 videos until we get all the way down to this and break it all down to the nitty gritty, then I will do that, and I will enjoy it, guys. I will enjoy it because this is important. This is our future. So make sure that if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about, that we expound upon it, and I'm going to talk about one piece at a time. What I'm going to talk about first are the things that we, and the truth is so simple, guys. The truth of my truth, my perception, my piece of this truth is so absolutely simple, okay? But the devil is in the details, and the details were not able to be seen in the dark. So it's just those little details that can really crush the manifestation power of our children and set them on a different path and keep them from getting to where they wanted to get to in a timely manner. Okay? If you have concepts that have failed, you can become a failure. All right, so now with that said, I want to talk about a quick overview. I'm going to talk about fear, doubt, stress, and how we take children away from living in the moment, and how that is harmful to the mindset that creates the power of manifesting and being able to work with the universe. Okay, but I also have solutions. So at the end, after we're done diving into that, I want to talk about how to live in the moment with your children, and then I want to talk about how love and respect and being in the moment with your children helps them to become powerful manifestors. And also belief. That's right, also belief. Teaching your child to believe so strongly that they do not have to believe. They've already internalized it. So it's just natural. Like me walking, I do not believe I can walk. If I had to believe I could walk, I probably was in a situation where I could no longer walk. Right? So now I have to believe it again. I just walk. I just know I can walk. And for the first year till about 7, 8 years old, the foundation of the brain and the belief systems are still forming. And they don't solidify until I think after 7 years old. Okay? This is why the government actually has said that if we have your children from age 1 to 7, we have them for life. Okay? That's not true, because a lot of us are waking up. However, I'm going to talk about that. Now that's the overview of this series. Okay, it's already at 12 minutes. That's why I wanted to choose fear today, because that's pretty simple. And so I want to talk about fear. And I'm going to use some examples from my childhood. Now, just a little info about me. I can remember all the way back to, I think my parents tell me I was about 1.5 years old when they took me to Disney. They took me to Disneyland, okay? And I could tell them what was going on. I could tell them the situation and everything. They were absolutely shocked when I told them at about 10 years old. They were like, how can you remember that? And I still remember it. I can remember back that far, okay? My oldest sister was walking and talking at, I believe, 5 months years old. She had doctors looking at her. Okay, so I'm saying all that to say, when I'm talking about my memories, I'm telling you what happened. All right, just like it was yesterday. And I understand that it might be a little hard to believe, but the more you meditate, or the more you go, you build up your routine, and you really tap in, you will realize your soul has memory that never goes away. Never goes away. Now with that said, let's dive into it. Child talk. Fear is one of the #1 things that will crush your manifestation problem, especially in a child. Now, funny story, when I was about 2.5 years old, I had a cradle, a baby bed that had a rail, the kind of rails you could let down, put the baby in, and then pull it up, and I climbed up onto that rail and I started walking, like tightrope walking, okay? So obviously, I already know how to balance. I've mastered balance. I'm good. My grandma was watching me, and she was sitting on the bed, and she saw what I was doing, and I still remember to this day. She was like moving really slowly, and came to me and hurried up and picked me up, and I could feel that she was scared. And she literally said to me, "Don't do that again. Well, don't do that. You could fall. You could fall." Now, I was not good at articulating it back to her at that age, like my sister, but I understood what she was saying, and I was like, okay. And so I didn't want to do that again, because I didn't want to scare my grandma. Not because I understood anything about death, just because I didn't want to see that happen again. I didn't understand what was going on. I did not have any fear of falling. I was not going to fall, okay? I was very lucid. I knew what was going on. And I'm saying that because that was the first time the emotion of fear entered into me, okay? Now, the fear of being dropping, I don't believe children have a fear of being dropped, okay? I just think there's a natural reaction when you're about to fall that a child reacts to. But actually having fear come from another individual over something you were doing, that was the first time I could remember. Now, so sometime later, maybe I'm about 4 or 5, and I like to climb on everything. I'm climbing on my dresser, I'm climbing up on my bunk bed, I'm always climbing on things and then jumping off. I would jump off onto pillows. Like, that's just what I like to do. And so one time I'm standing on the top of my bunk bed and I'm getting ready to jump off of it and land on top of this small piano. And I thought that I could do it. I really did. There was a bunch of stuff on the floor, but it was a spur of a moment thought, and I was going to give it a try. So I went to jump and I lost my footing, and I knew I was not going to make it. There was no way I was going to make it. And I was pretty much like, oh well, I'm about to fall. Free falling, right? But I started floating down ever so slowly, and I landed on that piano. And I stood there like, wait, what? You know? Then I thought to myself, well, let me try it again. Then I was like, nah, I'm not gonna try that again. But I never forgot that day. And I've had a couple more examples later on through life of things happening like that, that absolutely showed me that we do not die, first of all, by accident. You can look it up. There's children who have fallen out of 2-story windows, did not die, did not get hurt. There's children who have been left in extreme cold or extreme heat that actually did not die, okay? So we have to ask ourselves something. Do we believe in accidents, or that everything happens for a reason? Now, if we believe that everything happens for a reason, then when we see a child running with scissors, why do we tell them, don't run with those scissors? You might fall and trip and kill yourself. Okay, now some people might say, you know, well, that's a good life lesson. They might trip and fall and kill themselves, and I understand that. But think about it from this point of view. Maybe that's not a lesson in life. Maybe that's a lesson in death. Maybe because you're telling me that there's a such thing of dying and that I should be afraid of it. And that way I should alter my steps dancing around this idea of death, tiptoeing around it, right? A lesson in life would be, look, I noticed you're running with scissors. I just want to make sure you're aware that if you're clumsy or if you trip and fall and you don't move the scissors out of the way, you might puncture yourself. And if you puncture yourself, it might hurt. But don't worry. You are a very powerful being. And you will heal yourself in time. And if you tap into the healing powers of your mind, you can learn how to heal yourself even faster and without even leaving a scar. Now, to me, that is a lesson in life. That's a life lesson. Okay, there's people who on camera have put their hands over people who had cancer in a certain area of their body, and it went away in less than 10 minutes, y'all. In less than 10 minutes. And we're teaching our children not to run with scissors, instead of teaching them that they actually have the power to heal themselves even if they hurt themselves. So that's just another way of looking at it. Okay, like I said, it's really simple. It's really simple. And the reason I gave those 3 examples is because those are 3 examples that happened to me. I was obviously very hard to keep up with as a kid, running with scissors, jumping off of everything, walking on the freaking bed. You know, my family has so many stories of me being an acrobat, okay? And I'm sorry I put them through all of that, but guess what? I'm still here, guys. I'm still here. Okay, because I'm high vibrational. Okay? So that's part 1. I would like to, I just threw that little piece out there because I would like to expound upon it. I would like to go deeper. And if that resonates with everyone, then I'm going to go into doubt, and I'm going to go into the other things that I mentioned before. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. The other videos probably be around 15 minutes. I don't want to make them too long. But I love you all, and I hope you have a good evening. Peace.